Very good morning, students. Happy to meet you all in this revision session. So I'm going to now tell you how the 2 days are planned, right? So we will just have one small idea about it. And by the way, what is the paper we are going to discuss today? Strategic management. So look at the screen. I'm sure it's visible to you. So what we are going to do in this particular segment is we are in paper 6. Remember section B. What is section A? Financial management. Done. So section B is strategic management, and this particular revision of a pure theory paper, a pure abstract theory paper, is going to guarantee certain things. What is it, ma'am? See, there are 2 days, right? Day 1 plan, what we can have is to quickly revise our portions. Okay, because by now you should be in fingertips, but you know that each chapter has a set of framework, matrices and models, isn't it? So one example I've given, Ansoff framework, BCG matrix, isn't it? Arthur Little matrix. Suddenly if I ask you a question, nobody knows. So what we would do is, we have in all 5 chapters, we will go chapter by chapter, right? Quickly, as we saw, as I went into a set of question papers, scanners, etc., I found a couple of questions to be repeated. And you also know that your paper is divided into theory and MCQs. Okay, isn't it? Objective type and descriptive type. So I can tell you that these are the important questions which comes from each chapter, and certain experts' views or interpretation, which is very, very important for the examination purpose as such, that one. And empirical case studies. What are the case studies which are very important? How should I write a case study? Okay. And then some important and challenging questions would be done after that. So in the 2 days, so first we have to cover the 5 chapters quickly, for which we have prepared what is called as a capsule. My dear students, for your help, we have prepared capsule, which means what? We have reduced our subject itself into a smaller content based on what is important for the examination. If you are a Bharadwaj student, you can take out your Bharadwaj material, you can underline it. If you are a non-Bharadwajian, I can even give you this as a soft copy or a hard copy. But this soft copy will be definitely shared for you. Okay. And hard copy of this, if you are interested, if you can give me the count, I can ask the admins and I can give it to you. Now, I will be in this capsule, I will be highlighting what is a core point. And you're supposed to quickly jot it down. Right. And after each chapter, some couple of questions for you, so that whether you know the answer, whether you can recollect what is done, and you can write it as a revision class exercise. Is that clear? So day 1, we will start with having a plan of going chapter by chapter very quickly from the examination point of view, repeated questions, and at the end of each chapter, classroom exercise of MCQs and what are descriptive important questions from the chapter. The day 2, we will cover more in detail question part, so that you have a fresh idea. Now when I ask you to do a case study, you will do. Is that clear? So that the 2 days are done productively. Okay. So we can approximately say, when you look at the timetable as such, I suppose you got a notebook. You have a notebook for you. Yeah, so that's better, no? So that you can jot it down. Yeah. So what we can do is, say day 1. Like say first hour. So 1 hour, you can take chapter 1. Likewise, for the second hour, we will be doing chapter 2. In between each chapters, I can give you some 5 minutes break or something. And the 4th one, you have the chapter 4 to be discussed, and 5 you will have chapter 5 to be discussed. Okay. So now this is what is our plan. So we are going to discuss what I'm giving you in the PPT. Chapter wise revision of, so when I say this is a very crucial framework, please jot it down, right? And tips to present an answer is also going to be given to you. And the quotations, how important are they? And they are the mark scoring tips for you, right? So we are going to, and empirical case studies, wherever important, I will give you. Now, let's go into the capsule, okay? So look at the capsule now. We begin with chapter 1. Okay, my dear students, it is better that you revise this chapter by dividing into 2 parts. Your first part should focus on the fundamentals of SM. Means, what is the meaning of SM? Management separately, strategy separately. Define management. What is meant by a strategy? Who gave the term strategy? Right? So that is the first part. With advantages and limitations. Now, these advantages and limitations, don't waste your time. Because after studying all the 5 chapters, you can write on your own importance and limitations. Never go and waste your time in that part. Are you clear? And when you come to the second part of the chapter 1, that is where it is too technical. Of the 2 parts, this is the part you're going to concentrate. It's a technical part. Am I clear, my dear students? So I'm going to segregate. I'm just giving you the sample and tell you how your preparation should be also. Okay. Non-technical part is what you can write on your own. Particularly any limitations or advantages, do not waste your time. Okay. Now, by the way, before this is one sample. Before going into that, please look at this part. Okay. Now you are totally having these 5 chapters. This is as per your new scheme. So don't worry that, somewhere we have missed out what is the revised scheme. We are absolutely following the revised scheme. And what is the mark allocation for this section? 50 marks. Okay. And some of you may be interested in knowing more than that. That is, ma'am, what is the segregation of marks for all chapters? That is even more interesting. That is equal marks for all the chapters. Can I do this chapter, give overemphasis for it? Can I skip this chapter? It never gets into my head. No, you don't have the chance. And that is why we are trying to show you this particular secret, which is like this. Please look at it. Introduction to SM, 15 to 25%. Strategic analysis, external environment, 15 to 25. Internal environment, 15 to 25. Strategic choices, 15 to 25. Strategic implementation, evaluation, 15 to 25. So what are you going to do? All chapters are equally important. There is no question. And in this 15 marks, they allocate around, so you can take it as first part is your objective type questions. Probably you can have up to 15 marks and like kind of 35 marks for your essay. Okay, so have this plan in mind. I just wanted to show this is your parent institute indication, because many of them were asking me, ma'am, what is the chapter weightage? Would you tell that in the revision? There is no point in giving you the weightage, because unlike other subjects, here it is constant. Okay, so you don't have a choice of choosing chapters and leaving chapters. Am I clear, my dear students? So come to this part. Now look at this capsule. We are starting with the first one, quote. What is that? For every chapter, please be sure that the quote should be in your fingertips. For all the 5 chapters, this particular revision tip holds good. Why is it? Because for any essay type, when you start with a quote, marks are allotted for quotes, because you have a name of an expert there and you also have what they say on the topic. It is not your own story. Am I clear? So let it be Michael Porter, let it be Henry Mintzberg. So chapter wise, I wanted to highlight it in my capsule. All the 5 chapters carries this. And if you want, we can give you this capsule. We have prepared and kept it for you. So we wanted to know, basically, now you can very well rely upon this capsule. And for Bharadwaj students, I've already told you that our material is thoroughly researched. So no issue, you can just take it for theory or empirical part, whatever it is. Okay. Now, mark the quotes. I think for Bharadwaj students, I gave an instruction, bring your material. That is the reason I told. So mark this as an important part. And others, please note it down. Chapter 1, the quote of Michael Porter and Henry Mintzberg, because they are experts whose contribution is phenomenal as far as SM is concerned. You have Michael Porter's framework also. You know that, isn't it? Value chain analysis, Michael Porter's 5 forces model. I'm going to give that as important. Okay. Now, this diagram, my dear students, is for your MCQs. Now, what do you mean by that? That is, there is a question which is being asked, is strategy or SM a paper plan? The answer is, SM is not a paper plan. SM includes planning, you are monitoring the progress and development, it is execution. So the first question, conceptual question which they can test you is this. What is that? Whether strategy is a paper plan. Strategy is a goal-directed action. Remember that point? They are asking you the same in a different way. SM or strategy is not a paper plan. Are you going to have this in mind? Yes. Now coming to the two components of this term itself, please study the definition of management. Please study the definition of strategy. What do you mean by management? Management is the art of getting things done through others. The elements of management are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. Right? So these fundamentals are asked. And when you go to strategy, advanced question. From where was this term origin? Origin of the term is from the military field. Who is a proponent who gave this? Sun Tzu. What was the first book which gave this? The Art of War. All this is there. Are you clear? Yes. Can you follow what I'm trying to say? Yes. Now regarding management, if you look at your parent source, all these are the core elements, and let it be essay type, let it be MCQs. Now MCQs for correct and incorrect sentences, these are very important. Management refers to a key group. It's a chief organ. It initiates integration of resources. It mobilizes and utilizes resources. It is a competency of management which is important for the survival of the organization, success of the organization. Management facilitates organizational change. Management ensures organizational success. So when you look at these parts, you will understand that they want to test you on what is the purpose of management itself in an organization. Why is that big divide there? Management versus workers. Why is it you say top management? What is that meaning of the term? Because they are initiators who do all these. So it is an influence process. What is it? It's backed by power, competence, knowledge and resource. That's why we look upon management. The board, the CEO, the CFO. Why do we look upon them? Because all these. Look at the mighty power of the founder, of the CEO, of the CFO, right? So when they ask you a question on management, I will show you how they are asking also. So this is one important segment where you should understand that students think they will ask on strategy, but they are equally asking on management, right? That term. So the two terms by itself is a question for MCQ in chapter 1. Are you clear? And here, finally, we say it is matching of goals, strategies with the dictates of the environment. This is another important segment. You have to match your goals and objectives with the environment, internal and external. That is what is your second and third chapter. Am I functioning in an atmosphere where there is no internal or external environment? Can I just think of these goals without thinking about the competency of my team? Without thinking about the macro environment? What you study in puzzle and what is this? Are you clear? Can you follow this, my dear students? So that is about management. And this one question, as I was telling you in the class also, the concept, efficiency and effectiveness. So it has been asked in the paper also. So when you say they question you on the concepts like this. What are those concepts which you will miss, but which is important? What is efficiency? And everywhere there will be a statement, efficiency and effectiveness. Is there any difference? Look at the difference here. So what is effectiveness? Doing the right thing. You're starting to do the right thing. Okay. And efficiency is You do not know whether it's right or wrong, but you do whatever is given in a right way. Doing things right. Do you mark the difference? Under effectiveness, whatever you are starting with or doing is the right thing only. But under efficiency, what is happening? You are doing things right, but you do not know whether you have started with the right thing or wrong thing. Whatever is allotted, you are doing right. Are you clear? So that is why with the table we are giving. So when questions are asked, it could be on general concepts relating to the topic. It could be on the concepts in the topic. It could be on frameworks, right? These kinds of questions are being asked. Okay. Now look at this. When you have to write an essay type, for every essay type question, my dear students, please, the request is try to draw a chart. Now, why am I giving this chart? For a question on importance of strategic management. What is the chart you can have? 5 important M's of management. Men, material, machines, method, money. You have also an arrow mark chart on strategy. By now you would have studied. You have there what is meant by vision, mission, goals and objectives, strategy. So the 2 charts are there for you. So either a chart on management or a chart on strategy or both. Are you clear? Now, one question which is like example of in and around. In the 2 web references, I found this question. Example of in and around question. Now, after we do this chapter, we will start the classroom exercise of it also. Okay. So, I suppose you're jotting down at least the main points so that when you are given this classroom exercise, you must be able to do. So, what is this organizational change? What is that you're doing this? Why is this change important? Because we saw, isn't it? We have to coordinate with the internal and external environment. When the situations are changing, organization must change. It can't be rigid. So, that is the purpose of it. And for my growth in future, for my stay in future, for my survival in the market, change is important. So it is a focus with a change. When I want to have that change, when I want to see a future, change is important. Adapting to the environment. If today some of the organizations say we cannot go digital, we are unable to do online, please remember they are a failure. Digital or online is order of the day. People are booking online. They are making payments online. If they say no, if an organization does not facilitate you on these grounds, you're a failure. Sometime back, can you imagine swiping a card and buying things, settling bills? No. Today, if an organization says, I'm not ready for it, you're out of the market. Leave alone the quality of your product or service. You're not facilitating the customer. Are you clear, my dear students? So that is a very important component. So it is because it has to be dynamic. Business is dynamic. That's why a change is needed. Okay. Remember, and elements of management, even as students of business management, you would be knowing that, right? Okay. Now come to activities of management. Now this is, my dear students, these are the segments where you have to do a kind of rote learning. I'm sorry to use the word, but for correct and incorrect sentences, you have to know what are the activities of management: goal determination, designing the organization, resource mobilization acquisition, task and resource allocation, effective control system. Now, 3 would be there as option and 1 would be incorrect. Now, what is that incorrect? They would give, say for example, the task of a executor or implementation week. These are all management's work. Supposing they say operation of a machine to complete the target. Is it a work of management? But it's a part of a business or any organization. So they would concentrate on planning and more relating to resource mobilization. Preliminary arrangements for implementation would be the task of management. So for correct and incorrect sentences, please study all these, have in mind, because there is a divide between the task performed by management vis-a-vis the worker. Are you clear? Can you follow this? Yes. Now look at this. Activities of SM. And it is given in a different ways in your book. At least one way you should have in mind. Have your vision and mission. By the way, can you, one of you tell me the difference between vision and mission? One fundamental difference. Are they the same? In what way they are different? One particular word is also enough. Fantastic. Vision is futuristic. It is for the future. Mission is current performance. And why is mission important? Because your current stakeholders, to them you have to answer that this is my performance. Which shareholder will stay without knowing what is your current performance? So fantastic answer, my dear student. So this is futuristic and this is current. Please note that point very clearly. And very often, almost in all papers, difference between vision, mission, goals, objectives. Every time it's there. Okay. So we are very clear that what is a vision and what is a mission, and mission is a message for your key stakeholders. It's a point for them. They have to know it. Are you clear? So that is why we are detailing the activities of SM, starting with vision, mission, followed by strategic analysis, followed by objectives, then choosing and implementation. We will always finish with evaluation, because strategy is not a paper plan. That's a repeated thing. Okay. Now come to the concept of strategy. The parent institute terms, very important. These are the parent source terms for you. So highly possible for MCQs. So term strategy is defined as a blueprint of an organization's desired image, direction, destination. 3 Ds. Remember, 3 Ds. Okay. Desired image, direction and destination. This is what is my goal. This is what is my direction, my reach. All three in one are there. Are you clear? Okay. Now, experts quote on strategy itself. Please look at, mark another 2 experts, Ansoff and William Gluck. And Josh and Gluck has done a lot of contribution. And I was telling you in the class also, I used to say he has made an Ansoff matrix itself. You have a question. Okay, discuss the significance of Ansoff matrix. Repeated question in the examination, right? So remember and recollect the names of these 2 experts. So here a quote which is given on strategy exclusively by Ansoff and Gluck. Okay, so Ansoff, he says it's a common thread. That's a strategy is what is binding the entire team of the organization together. And here Gluck also similar, but he says unified, comprehensive and integrated plan. So you should know the specific terms used by different experts. Now what were the 2 other experts we saw this morning in the class? Anybody can recollect, because in SM recollection is very important. Memory part is important. Who are the 2 other names we saw? Very good. Henry Mintzberg. Isn't it? Very good. So Michael Porter, Henry Mintzberg, Ansoff and William Gluck. Please remember 4 names, right? Key features of strategy. Now these are for so what do you do for this part? You read once and you must be able to write on your own. Okay, so these are not definitions or interpretations. You can write on your own. But what is the technical part in strategy? Who gave the term strategy? The first methodical documentation of strategy was given by Sun Tzu. What is the discipline from which it originated? Military. When was its first methodical documentation came in? Dates back to 500 BC. You remember that? Very good. And what is the name of the book? Very good. The Art of War. Now this is where you are going to make your answer technical by including all these 4. But the key features you write on your own. Am I clear, my dear students? So I am telling you how to You can enrich your answer only with the technical inputs, names of the experts, any publication, any chart, any data is what is expected in your essay type. Okay? Yes. Now, types of strategies. You know that there are 3 important types. That's where we said, no, strategy is a thread which binds a comprehensive plan, integrated one, etc. So, corporate strategy is for overall, business strategy is for particular, SBUs, strategic business units. Remember those? And here, functional strategy is for how to execute a business strategy. Maybe production, marketing, finance, personnel. I have given you a Tata company case study, if you can remember. In our book, you have a Tata company case study where we said that this company is operating in how many countries? 100 countries. 100 countries across 6 continents. Really, with the data, you get 6 continents. Need not be in this chapter. I will also show you our PPT is done. And here, they are in multiple business. Tata Finance, Tata Telecommunication, Tata Beverages, Tata Chemicals, Tata Motors. Now, for the entire Tata group will come here. Each business like chemicals or say Tata Motors will come here, followed by the functions which have to perform. This is what is called as an enrichment of an essay type question. Write a line or 2 of an empirical example which impresses the examiner and some mark scoring tip. You can say, for example, to explain this pyramid from business context, Tata Group as a whole, which is operating across 6 continents in 100 countries. They are in some of these business, and in many of the chapters, I have given you the entire business of Tata. I will also show you our slide towards the end of it. Okay. So our plan is 1 hour, 1 chapter, right? Till such time we will go on, and with we will end with a couple of questions, right? So till 7:30 or probably 7:45, I will be with this chapter, or we will see how it goes about. Now here you have to write this case study where you will bring chemicals, motors here. Tata Group is there giving a corporate strategy, and based on that you are having each business which is run, and to implement what Tata Chemical wants, what Tata Motors want, you have the production manager, finance manager, all departments coming in. So do you see this? So functional strategy facilitates business strategy facilitates corporate strategy. Are you clear? Now coming to this, please mark it as a very important. I'm sorry to say that it's too technical, very important, repeated. In the classroom, what I have done is this one followed by the explanation. You know that, isn't it, my dear students? By now, is there anybody who has memorized this chart? By now, have you studied this chart? Strategy is partly proactive, partly reactive. Standard question in essay. Discuss. Very important. I have seen almost, in fact, several institute papers also, what they have given as a test paper and mock paper, they have included this. Now, this chart you have to prepare, study. Now, what is that which tells you is, we begin with formulating a strategy with the company's resources, our own strength, weakness, capabilities, all this. We start a strategy based on what I have. And the difference between proactive and reactive is you're responding to the situation. So, based on this, you come with a proactive, already well-designed strategy. But in course of implementation, you have to be flexible. Why? Because there is a change in some external environment. Legally there is some change. Politically there is a change. There is a change from a socio-economic point of view. Those things will change you. So what you are supposed to do, new initiatives plus ongoing initiatives, and it continues from the previous period. At the same time, adaptation. adapting, adjusting to the situation. So you have proactive elements, you have reactive elements. You also have abandoned elements, which means they are no more useful to you, redundant. Today, if I talk to you about floppies, what will you tell me? You know what is a floppy? Floppy. Very good. It is a computer storage device. Like you have a pen drive these days. You have a pen drive, right? Like that disk you have CD. Like that we used to have floppy disks. It will be like a biscuit and we insert it. It's a square type. We insert it. It stores data. You call it as a floppy disk. It comes in case a 12 set, 15 set, etc. Today, if I talk to you about it, the storage capacity, you don't even know the term. Right. So a floppy manufacturing company, if they sit and know this is very good, this is from HP, no use. Nobody even knows it. So redundant. So proactive, reactive, abandoned. And latest version will be that which suits the contemporary world. So mark this, my dear students. You start with your capacity. You are going to implement strategy which is new plus ongoing, adapting to the environment. Some strategies abandoned, some strategies you are responding and reacting. And final outcome is this, a blend of all this. Okay, mark this as an important question. Now this type of question, Alpha, it's a case study example. Okay, towards the end I will ask you such questions. A ketchup brand making a healthier ketchup with less sugar and preservatives to attract more customers by letting parents feel safe about their kids. Can this be called as a strategy? Yes, because today there is more of health campaigns. In the place of ketchup, they can ask you junk kind of a food, soft drinks, aerated drinks. Now, what happens, let us take the case of Coke, Coca-Cola, Coke, etc. Now you all know it's a carbonated drink, soft drink. It is not going to guarantee any health for you. Probably it could be harmful also. But what is that they're coming with? Diet Coke. Have you seen that? Coke for sports persons. No, that is definitely a strategy. Because suddenly for sports person, you're not going to add any health ingredient. It's Diet Coke doesn't mean it's a clinical components are added. But it's a strategy to sell the product. Are you even aware of it? For children, you have vanilla and cherry Coke flavors. You don't know. They have that flavors. That pink tins and those things to attract them. Give this to their kids. They will. Sports people, you have a Coke tins. Energy drink. For diabetic, diet Coke. Right? All this is happening. So for your case study, such types of question based on theory, it will be entwined with the theory. Are you clear? Yes? Okay. Now coming to this totally non-technical segment. And we have made it technical. What is this non-technical segment, my dear students? Importance and limitations. You will be inclined to write something on your own, which examiner will not give any mark. Be careful. It is an essay type, students are losing marks because they write what they know. So look at how we have made it. What can you make it? You can draw a chart like this and you can give the importance or limitations within the chart. Write case studies. Gives case studies. In the class we discussed about, I think about BPL, if I am right. In the class we discussed how BPL lost market because they were concentrating on what you call as they were concentrating on some family problems or some litigations, as a result of which their focus on business got lost. So big establishment empires, you would have heard there is a fight between brothers, isn't it? Our example also, and that's what I say, to enrich, write a case study. And principle of Darwinism, you remember Charles Darwin's theory, which you can use. Now I'm adding three main points to enrich your answer plus a chart. Now, what is Darwin's theory? It is not an intelligent person. It is not enough if you have physical strength. Adaptation to the external environment or adaptation to environment is what is going to guarantee you success and survival and stability in the market. So, quote the name of an expert. Give an empirical example. Talk about business wars, how brand war is there. Bring in the example of monopolistic competition where there is always a war. Are you clear? So take up a case study and enrich your answer. Are you clear? Here also you can write, because it's about SM, you can write about strategy, who gave the technical inputs we saw, the art of war, Sun Tzu, 500 BC. Right? You can write it. Now, setbacks, limitations. Four important limitations are given. One is, can we have a strategy when the environment is so complex and turbulent, ups and downs? You do not know what he will respond. What is a strategy, my dear students? Strategy is a complex plan formulated taking into account the moves and the counter moves of the rivals. You should know what the rival is going to do. But can we know that? Any of it know? So many rivals are there. Look at the case of electric vehicles. This electric vehicle campaign was even supported by government, not by some Tom, Dick and Harry. Government supported electric vehicles. And subsidies and all were announced. It came as a part of, FAME scheme, faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles, 500 crore subsidy scheme and all. And therefore, it was believed that every customer would buy it. But customer showed reluctance. He said, no, I have this safety concern. I was comfortably driving in this conventional mode of fuel. Suddenly you're saying electric vehicle. Safety threat came into your mind. He was reluctant to buy. So manufacturers of electric vehicles didn't know what to do. You have to write those stories. Can you believe that the manufacturers would have ever thought that they would meet with a failure? Because electric vehicles were saying like you're saving planet. In some time from now, everybody has to go for electric vehicles. No other fuel mode will be allowed. Planet Earth is in challenge. Nothing went into the ears of the customer. He said, my safety is first. You tell me whether it is everywhere, there's every 10 meters is a petrol bunk. Where would I go and charge my battery? Can you understand, my dear students? And most of you know Tesla's case study. You know how big their manufacturing unit and their marketing and promotions were. And now look at this. That is a turbulent environment. So I'm a vehicle manufacturer, EV manufacturer. I've launched vehicles. People are not there to take. What is my scenario? That is what is turbulence, ups and downs, violent environment. Will a strategy fit in? So what is the question? Time-consuming process. Really, you have to think a lot about others, a competitor's financial position, technical competence, managerial competence. Can you understand? Costly, very expensive. Marketing is expensive, right? And difficult to imitate a competitor's response. That's what we're saying. Have you all known that Apple was the first concern to go into wireless speakers? When they went into wireless speakers, but if not for Apple, any other had tried this, they would have been a failure. Because it's Apple, the rivals thought, even I should go wireless. No, Apple has gone wireless, that's it. That is the response they faced. When they initiate something because of their brand image. Apple fanboys and fangirls are there. They are violent with Apple, There is a wild state. So, when they went into wireless, every rival did that. So, you will not know that. Are you clear, my dear students? So, your first part is about all this. Now, let me give you a couple of questions so that you are able to address it. And you also have a look into this PPT for the first part. Okay? Please have a look so that you are able to understand what we are trying to say. Okay? SM is a joyful subject. Division is joyful. Okay. So look at these two parts. What we saw. Michael Porter, Henry Mintzberg. Company without a strategy is willing to try anything. Means what? You should have a strategy. And this is one repeated. Strategy is not a consequence of planning. It is a starting point. First strategy followed by planning. Okay, strategy is a base. Two inbuilt concepts, management and strategy, the two terms. Okay, various definitions of management. Remember that. The key points in management, which I just put up on the board. I'm going to ask you this. And all these about management. Okay, 5 M's, organizational change. Make a chart like this. For what? And you have to tell about the activities of SM. See what we saw in points, how to make a chart is this. This is a very important one. Meaning of the word, strategy, art of war, 500 BC, Sun Tzu. Very important. It's going to be for any answer, my dear students, you can write as a starting point. Is that clear? Okay. See, this was the original classic work. Concept of strategy, the three important points, you remember? Desired image, direction and destination. Ansoff and Gluck, common thread. Remember that term for Ansoff? Comprehensive integrated plan for Gluck. Okay. Key features, and this is the arrow diagram I said. What is the mission? Who we are, what we value. Now, vision, what we want to become. Strategy, how will we achieve our vision is strategy. Objectives, how we gauge or measure our degree of success. Are you clear? Okay, so strategy is a game plan. Please remember, strategy is to unravel complexity and reduce uncertainty. Strategy gives you a unified design, command over the situation, right? Strategy is flexible also, remember. That is why proactive and reactive. It is also flexible. According to the dictates of the environment, we will change it. This is one repeated question. Strategy is not a substitute for sound, alert, responsible management. Management is important. Strategy is helping you, facilitating the process of management. Are you clear? Types of strategies, the three important types. Okay, what's the top? Divisional and structural. And this is what we saw. The diagram strategy is partly proactive, partly reactive, isn't it? You can also give this example, UPI example. Unified Payments Interface. What is this, my dear students? What is the example is about? Can you understand the example? It was formulated at one period of time, 2016. In COVID, 2020 and post, it became highly useful. Even a flower vendor is now having this system. Isn't it? QR. What is a QR? Right? So you can, the UPI story is very important. Please make a note of the relevant pertinent examples for each of your case studies. This is your catch-up example, right? Adapting to the environment. So for the enrichment of the answer, and now I'm going to start with a couple of questions for you. Yes, strategic management, importance and limitations. We also saw how important it is, isn't it? And remember, SM is the heart and soul of efficient management, as changes have to be tackled. Okay? And SWOT. As you study SWOT, please remember one important thing. Because one is generally the framework, one is relating to the company and giving the example. Have an example of the company as well, right? Now, let me start please take down the classroom exercise. A couple of questions I'm going to ask you in the first part. Maybe I can put it in the freeze mode also. Or I will put it here. Let's see. I'm giving you the options. This is a case study, okay? Read properly, understand, and you got it, huh? Reading. Okay. This is a sample question of how your conceptual clarity is tested through a case study. Now, case study itself is one MCQ. You see this example? Generally, MCQ from the theory part. Case study as an MCQ. None. It's vision. You? Strategy. Vision. Mission. Vision is the answer. What made you choose it as a vision? Which line or where was a clue for you? Because it also appears to be a strategy, as she said.
So in the second line, believe, and the line that states, we believe that the future will be a paperless, say, going for futures view, that view. So like that.
Okay, so she took from the word the future world is going to become paperless as far as academics is concerned. And here the company hopes to see itself in the place of a pioneer in the hopes. It is not performing now. So now I know I have made a forecast of the future that's going to be a paperless academic world. I have to be prepared to offer this to capture the market. So I want to be a pioneer means what? Number one. I want to be a number one in this field. So the answer is perfect. What is your name?
Soumya.
Soumya has given the perfect answer. Good try by Kausalya also. And she also gave a vision, I think. Okay. Now go to the second one. This is also a case-based MCQ. You're done. Okay. Others, did you go through the case study? Georgian answered immediately. She's in fingertips, everything. So, go through the case study and you should think on your own. Don't take her answer as a clue and do it. You say if you feel that way or if you don't feel. You go with option 1. Okay, okay. First one, okay. The answer is third one. Now, look at this point. They are in plastic industry. You must have a sense of understanding that let it be plastics or chemicals. These days, the government or even the international panels say no to plastics and chemicals. These are the days. Okay. Now here, they are running the business. When you are getting lucrative returns, if you want this ongoing to also continue, more and more investments would be planned in that. Why is that a small diversification? Why is that you want to go to the global market platform means you have to invest, concentrate more and more on that. Look at what they want to capture, global market. So my entire focus should be on that. But why is that I'm suggesting something and they have a fundamental reason which seemed convincing the CEO. That fundamental reason is how long can we stay in plastic industry? When the slogan has begun, say no to plastics. They'll give you here junk foods, carbonated drinks, chemicals, all this will be the first part. You understand that? So there is a fundamental reason which is convincing the CEO. We all should know the slogan is say no to plastics. And if it is ongoing plus this, there will be a line on the existing plastic industry also. They will give a line. But here the members are concentrating on new venture alone. If it was first, my dear students, there would be one more line. Since there are lucrative returns, the unexplored markets like so and so countries are planned. So new initiatives plus the ongoing. But here we drop that it is not a failure which is making you to go to another. Look at it. That's why we ensured it is fetching you lucrative returns, not normal. Very attractive. We are going to concentrate on global market. But why is it this few group and why is this debate? Because what is the need now? We are thinking big about the same industry, which means the existing industry has no future. We may put all our strategic mind and do it, but industry itself is not going to stay long. You understand? That is the answer. Are you clear? So you should have this kind of one line which will be the clue. Absence of one line, that is, when you say lucrative returns, global market, there will be one line if it was the first option. I am going to react to the environment. Reactive environment is strategy is what? I am doing very good in my business. But what is the environment saying? No to plastics. Are you getting the point clear? Yes, are you getting the point clear? Okay. Now, one or two theory questions also I want to give, but before that. Yes, online buddies, are you there? This Kapilesha, who is that? Karthik, come back to the meeting. Tulasi. Oh, some new girl was there. Tulasi, Dharma Devi, Kabilashini. All of you, please get back. I have to write we are starting later so that they'll get back. have to say we join back so that they. Okay. Yes, my dears, now I'm going to give you some theory questions also. Okay, I'm going to give you some theory questions also. So let's do that part. Okay. Or we will finish this part 2 also and take up the theory questions for chapter 1 as a whole. Right. Okay. Look at your part 2, chapter 1. As I told you, it's a technical question. Now this strategic intent hierarchy. Look at this, is very important, and here I have something to tell you. This is the order in which you have to remember, my dear students, because this and this will confuse you. Strategic values, strategic intent. Look at the order: vision, mission, goals, objectives, actions and activities. So based on values only, you form your strategic intent itself, because value is always given by the founder. So that is the first one, isn't it? We say founder's value. For your school, you will have a founder. For a college, you have your founder's values. So founders, they give their ethical base or morality, moral values, etc., based on which you have an intent or intention, vision, mission, goals, activities. So this thing you remember. Now mark this as an important question. I told you that values is one of the important questions in the examination, and HP way. In your parent source, they have given you that HP way is a concrete example of values, and we have told what are those principles. Look at these: importance of respect for the individual, value of leadership, importance of integrity, power of teamwork, need for adaptability. So this is called as a HP way. It is not there in the parent source as far as I referred. So we are giving you these 5 important principles, which are the guiding point for any employee or member of the HR. So when you're writing about values, ensure that you write a case study is important. Include case study, parent institute reference, HP Hewlett Packard. Okay. So we have also done in a detailed way. I'll show you the PPT also. Okay. Now come to each of these components. Vision. For every side heading, you have an example. Henry Ford's vision. What is the vision of the Ford company? That statement itself is important. Mission. We have discussed, one of the case studies we discussed is HDFC Bank. So what you learned theoretically is vision, mission, strategy, goals and objectives. Now, when it is asked as an essay type, you entwine your answer with the empirical part, or they can be only an empirical question. Empirically discuss the significance of mission, taking an example from an organization, which means no theory will work out here. Points and after points on mission and mission is of not use. It will be an empirical question. So 2 sets of questions here are: one is theoretical, purely you can have theoretical, where you can end with case examples. Empirical question. So 2 types of questions. Write down in your notebook so that when we give the handout, you must be able to note it. 2 types of question: vision, mission, objectives and goals, whatever you saw, value, etc. They can be asked as a theory part, which is what we have given as points. They can be an empirical, separate empirical question. This is where students have missed. They have came and reported to us, ma'am, we didn't think that they will ask an empirical question. Purely empirical can also be there. Okay, so I will show our slides also, what we discussed in part 2. See how we began. This is our part 2, my dear students. For you to remember, just look at this. Please look at what we have done. See, have Hewlett and Packard. Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard. That's why it's called as HP. 5 important. So this is going to be a separate question. Timeless principles. Revisiting the HP way. Right. So look at this components. When you're discussing these components, please remember what I'm trying to tell. Theory plus empirical. Now look at this. And how is a diagram? This is your parent source diagram. Value is always there. Okay. After that you can write intent. Then you can, the order will be vision, mission. So here they want to say this part. Intent is a base for vision. Vision, then mission, goals and objectives. The entire thing based on values. Do you understand? How am I going to understand? This is a parent source diagram. Please, it goes like this. What is outermost is intent, and here it drives your vision, then mission, then goals and objectives. And the whole framework, the fundamental of it is value. So value is the base. The order can be this. If you want to do in this way, you have to start with intent, vision, mission, goals and objectives. Okay, that's the point we want to tell you. So look at this. What is an intent? This is theoretical. This is a theoretical one. There is no, is there any example here? Okay, theoretical, completely theoretical. Features of intent. How do you understand? Vision, features of vision. What is the feature of mission? My dear students, regarding intent, please understand it. The one clue word for intent is purpose. Values means ethics, morality, good and bad, right and wrong. Intent is purpose. Have this clue word. Because for vision, mission, you know, vision is futuristic. Mission is current. Okay. Goals and objectives are targets. Targets. In numbers, numerically, I am trying to implement my goals, my whatever I have. And when it comes to strategy, how am I going to do that? Yeah, how am I going to achieve that? Right. Now, intent is what? Purpose, and based on that you can have all these things, all these points coming in. So vision and mission we have given you. Now regarding goals and objectives, I told you that one question could be difference between goals and objectives. Now please remember, goals are broader, objectives are narrow. You would have you can recollect the example which I tell in the class. I want to lose weight. If I say, I cannot say, I should not say that. If somebody says, I want to lose weight, or I say, I want to put on weight, that is a goal. How am I going to put on weight? This kind of jogging, this kind of yoga, this kind of meditation, this kind of food intake, that is objectives. So one repeated question is distinction between goals and objectives. Remember, goals are broad, objectives are narrow. So how to achieve my goal is what is objectives. How to achieve a goal is an objective. Are you clear? Yes, understand it. Now, see intent versus values. There again, they can ask you a difference between the two. So intent is a purpose, value is a foundation. Omnipresent foundation means value will be there everywhere in the company because it is given by the founder of the organization. That is a base for forming the intent. That is a base which will guide you in the formulation of vision, mission, goals, objectives, etc. Are you clear? Okay. And here, look at the names of the experts. Collins and Paras. They define values as what? Inherent and sacrosanct. Sacrosanct means what, you know? Divine. Pure. Ethics. What is it? Values teach you ethics. What is the ethics about? Do's and don'ts. Right and wrong. Don't do wrong. Do the right. Sacrosanct. Okay. And here, for values, your empirical example is HP. So intent is purpose. Value is sacrosanct. Right? Vision is futuristic. Mission is current. Mark that HP as important. I was telling you the story was also given to you. But by now, For those who are interested, we will also share the PPT slides if you want. Whatever kind of facilitation you want, we are ready to give you, but we are only just giving you a glimpse of what by now you should be thorough. Okay, it's just a glimpse. So look at this order, my dear students. I always tell the students, remember this order. Value is a foundation, intent is a purpose, and under that components are vision, mission, goals are broader, objectives tell you how to attain the goals, activities is performance. This is clear? This hierarchy is clear to you? Because I will give you a quiz test on that. Okay, now vision of the company, what is it? What we want to achieve, okay? Now this is the empirical part. Have you marked that for each of this? You have to study the empirical part. Have you noted that? Look at the examples for vision we saw. Henry Ford's vision. HDFC's vision. Look at this. The vision helps them to keep in mind where we want to go. What is the HPH vision? World-class Indian Bank. The vision is stated here. World-class Indian Bank. Here, a car in every garage vision. So HDFC and all, we have given you a brief note how to elaborate the case study. Look at this, LIC's vision is a transnationally competitive financial conglomerate of significance to societies and pride of India. That's their vision. Pride of India, okay. Yes. Do you understand, my dear students? Please be very, very clear. LIC's example is explicated for you. Apple's mission, Apple's vision, both are given to you. Look at the vision. We believe that we are on the face of the earth to make great products at the end. That's not changing. And what is the mission? We give you the best user experience, innovative hardware, software and services. So this appears to be current and this appears to be future. As we saw in our example also. We believe that we are on the face of the earth to make great products and that's not changing. We are going to make great products in the world. So that is your vision. But currently, what are you doing? What is your goal? What is your ambition? Etc. Are you clear? So have you marked it for empirical segment? You're going to study and the empirical segment, theoretical and empirical. Look at the mission, theoretical part of mission, and we will have examples. Why should we have a mission? Attributes of a good mission: precise, clear, feasible, distinctive and motivating. You know why should you have these attributes? Why should we have a good mission statement? Because it is for the shareholders or the stakeholders. Otherwise, they will leave us and go. Mission is about the current performance. And who are the key stakeholders? Shareholders, society, customer, employers, dealers, and society at large, government also. So all these. Remember that, okay? Are you clear? And while formulating the mission, we should have all these factors in mind. Whether we are technologically competent, we have the manpower ability, how the activity is being performed, etc. Right? And now experts. Take down the name of the experts. Peter Drucker and Theodore Levitt. Because for mission, as per your parent source, you have to mention about the names of the experts. They are none other than Peter Drucker and Theodore Levitt, the two important experts who have quoted on mission. Because they were the ones who said mission is the first step in business planning. Define your mission. Answer the key stakeholders, then proceed. Because stakeholders want to know that. See, shareholder, if your mission is not clear, he will go away. He will invest money somewhere else. Because what is the purpose of the shareholder to invest money? To see profit. Right. So that is where this is important. Now some of the questions which mission addresses. Key questions. Okay. That's very important. And Peter Drucker's study on mission. What business are we in? Now here you have a practical example. Case example. This is a very, very important package where you have Peter Drucker's question. What business are we in? So are you going to have a production oriented answer or marketing oriented answer? Three important entities are given. Indian Oil, Indian Railways, Lakme. Production oriented answer means what? We tell the superiority of our product. That is production oriented. In marketing, we tell you that your need was a base for my product. That's a difference. Production oriented and marketing oriented. In production oriented, what do we say? You can also say that my product has this technology, it has this version, this has this application, all this. Under marketing oriented vision, what do you say? Your need was a base of this product. Your need is addressed. See, look at Lakme, very interesting. We sell hope. I want to be fair, I want to be glowing. Isn't it? It's a very interesting case study about Lakme. It's there even in your book. See, look at that. Okay. See, you know that one of the prime ministers, told that please start manufacturing of cream, concern in India itself, because Indian women would like to look fair and they are buying from abroad, imported products. There is a scarcity of foreign exchange. Better start having our own concern. That is how Lakme started. You know that, see, a prime minister telling he was concerned that Indian women are spending the money on beauty products, and he's persuaded Tata to manufacture them in India. So the story is, in the class I would have elaborated for you what happened, and as of now 2020 data is also there. So this is an example of a case study with the data, where 2021 is not an obsolete data according to the source. Look at how many centers, spas they run, 485. As big, isn't it? They have this fashion week and all those things happening, isn't it, my dear students? And then goals and objectives, the theoretical part, and long term versus short term. In the class we did that. For objectives, when your short term objective is not achieved, go for a long. Isn't it? That's what we told you. Values are the base. Look at this structure. Everything is embedded upon the base. And that's where I told you, Tata's, all these are examples of their concern. Tata Metals, IT, financial, automotive, retail, infra, telecom, tourism and travel, aerospace and defense. So for your pyramid, you can use this. Corporate level, business level and functional level. Are you clear about it? So Ratan Tata's case study, and please you write Ratan Tata's case study for any of the chapter. Because even for leadership you can do, because this is the year we are. Okay, so now let's move further, and because I'm showing you this, since I'm going to test you on this also. Okay. Common examples of values. List out what is a value is. We said no, morality, integrity, trust, accountability, humility, innovation, diversity. All these are values. Are you clear, my dear students? All these indicate your values also. And empirical case example. Market as important, HDFC, because they have stressed this in your parent source. I have written this. Excellence, customer focus, product leadership, people, sustainability. You are entwining your value with a business context. That's very important. For me, people is important. For me, sustainability is important. For me, customer focus is important. For me, excellence in all my business ventures is important. That's what we're trying to say here. Right? So intent versus value. Mark this case study as important. Important question. Can you answer this question? Is intent or value which is important? What do you say? Is a purpose important or ethics and morality important? Both. Okay. Others? Which is important? Both are interrelated. Okay. Now we will give you the answer. Note it down. Look at this. Both go hand in hand. Very important. Yes. Okay. They help you in, they go hand in hand. But what you find is intent itself is driven by values. That's why from the beginning I'm saying that value is a foundation, is a base. Without values, intent can't be there. Can you see? In that way, supposing the option is like this, which of the two is wider, which of the two is comprehensive, give importance to values. Because values only give you the intent. Are you clear, my dear students? That part is clear to you? Okay. Then, this is what I want to tell you there regarding vision mission. So let's get back to the capsule. So look at all those important things. Whatever is very important I've given. Now strategic levels. The last part of this chapter is strategic levels. The three important levels you can use. This is the parent source diagram. You can see the headquarters here very clearly. Here you have the corporate strategy which is formulated. SBUs, expand SBUs, strategic business units. This is business level, and here you have the function level. Okay, how to implement. Here how to compete, where to compete. 3 questions, 3 levels, the parent source chart. Okay, now let's go to the exercise. Take down the couple of questions I'm going to give you. Or rather, I will even read the question for you so that you can do it. Okay, freeze mode is there, no? Yeah. Okay. Now I am going to ask you some questions. Okay. Take down the question 1. Now MCQs theory part. Okay. Which of the following best describes strategic management? Which of the following? No. If you can register also, you register it. Okay. Which of the following best describes SM? Okay, I give you 4 options. Okay. Operational control process. Option A. Option B is process of formulation, implementation and evaluation of strategies. Can you register what I'm saying? Option C is tactical decision making process. Option D is routine decision making process. 4 options I'm giving you. Yes, I will say. You write that answer alone in the notebook for a reference. And if you are interested, I will also share this. I think so many documents are there for me to share to you. Okay. So, which one of the following describes SM? What is this example of? Theoretical MCQ from chapter 1. We did empirical MCQ from chapter 1. Theoretical MCQ from chapter 1. Okay. Which of the following best describes SM? Note the question. 4 options are operational control process. Second one is process of formulation, implementation and evaluation of strategies. Tactical decision making is 3rd. Routine decision making is 4th. Tactical decision making, routine decision making, operational control process, process of formulation, implementation and evaluation. These are the 4 options. You think and give me the answer. Yes, got it? Yes. Each of you tell me the answer. B. C. C. Now that is the point. There is a confusion to the students whether we can choose C because tactical. Tactical is strategy, no? So many of the students have chosen C, but the answer, my dear students, is B. Because B tells you SM process. The very first circular diagram I asked, no? Planning, monitoring the development, evaluation. So this is a question to test whether SM has been understood as a paper plan or whether it is a goal-oriented strategy, action-oriented goal. The first question you remember, this is the point. Her answer should also be received because there is a division between the students. Some of them have chosen B, some of them have chosen C. So SM as a process is what is the question. Are you clear? So the answer is process of formulation, implementation, and evaluation of strategies. Now, the second one I'm going to ask. What is the primary objective of SM? What is the primary objective of SM? Option A, maximizing employee satisfaction. Maximizing employee satisfaction. B, ensuring effective day-to-day operations. Ensuring effective day-to-day operations. C, achieving competitive advantage and organizational goals. D, reducing the operational cost. So what is the primary objective of SM? Maximizing employee satisfaction. Option number two is ensuring effective day-to-day operation. Option C is achieving competitive advantage and organizational goals. D is reducing the very operational cost. Got it. Okay. Come. Goals. Okay, you feel C. You? Because of the word effective, please don't choose that. There are students who have said, ma'am, you have taught about efficiency and effectiveness. That was the option, so I chose it. You may not choose A or D, but there is again a confusion between B and C. Because effectiveness, efficiency are all meant for SM. That's the main thing. So, very good answer, competitive advantage. Are you clear, my dear students? Okay. Now, there also I will tell you something which you should know, and I'm asking you one more thing I will ask you, which I wanted to. No, this one. Yes. Take down. Goals are dash ended attributes. Goals are dash ended attributes. The second line is objectives are dash ended attributes. You are having two questions. Goals are dash ended attributes. Objectives are dash ended attributes. Now you have to say which is closed ended, which is open ended. Can you tell me why you say so? Okay. Which means objectives we can't decide.
Preparing goals only, we are going to attain the objectives.
So goals are broader, whereas once you formulate the goal, your objective should be attaining the goal. You got that point? That is the point actually. So I cannot have my objectives independent of the goals. That's why closed. To attain that goal, I have to form my objectives. They are the pathways. But goals, I have that option. I can fix my goal. You understand that point, my dear students? Take down that question also, which is important. I will unfreeze it. I will go to. Yeah. Have you taken down that question? Goals and objectives, which was very important, which I wanted to tell you actually in the class also for this particular part. Okay, now this one. This is an important thing which I wanted to also tell you. Here it is question 3, but we have done more also. That is. Corporate. Okay. Kausalya has come with an answer. Yes. Georgian and your Savitri. What is your name? Soumya. Georgian and Soumya. No idea. Yeah. Corporate. You? Functional. Functional maybe. Functional is correct. See how it is tricky. That is, Adani Group, which is in mining operations, has decided on an expansion strategy. Anyway, that has to be given. Based on the goals, a production unit has started planning its new schedule of work, number of laborers to be newly inducted, wage revisions, and so on. The expansion strategy is a major plan by Adani Group with a core focus of enlarging its presence in the mining sector. The production unit is working day and night on the new initiative. Under which level would you place above scenario? What is the picture there given about the production unit's task? If the scenario is, they would keep on elaborating about what Adani Group, why Adani Group ventured on all, and one line, now this, it is now left to the production unit to carry it. That would be corporate. See, what they will do is, definitely you understand that it cannot be all of the above, because each will merit equal attention. That is what I am trying to tell you in this case study. There may be two levels also, which is elaborated. What is the scenario there which you are saying? The production unit is working hard, they are doing day and night, they are planning wage revisions, new schedule of work, more laborers. What is the picture there? If it was corporate, the Adani Group, which wants to strengthen its mining operation as compared to chemicals and other fields in which they found their rivals are more competent. Therefore, they want to do this kind of a thing. So that would be elaborated. And now it is left to the production unit to carry on it. So there it would be corporate. You see the difference? So look at the case elaboration. When it comes to levels, so this is from the levels. Which is given more importance? Where is the picturization? Which scene is illustrated clearly? Because for any scene, one backdrop will be there. That is, without Adani Group announcing expansion, they can't. Suddenly, if I say the production unit has started, that is why that baseline. Sometimes you will say for MCQs, that line is not even needed or it is not related to the answer, but it's been given to give you the twist. If I start a functional unit is doing, you will answer functional. What is the difficulty here then? You got it. That is how the challenge has to be understood. You got it, my dear students? Are you able to follow? So this is what we are now about chapter 1. Okay. Now we will move to chapter 2. Right. So I will give you some inputs on that and then you can go for your breakfast break. Okay. We will do a little bit of it. I have a lot of things for you to also did this. I will tell you what is. Year wise also I have categorized. Now continuing with the capsule, chapter 2, strategic analysis, external environment, isn't it? We saw in our PPT also it was given like that, isn't it? Now, when you come to this chapter, my dear students, please remember there are two tricky things. One is strategic analysis. It is a complex segment. You have to revise again and again. Really, I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Essay has to be revised again and again. It is also appearing in the question paper. Equally important is puzzle, which is easy actually. Puzzle is easy. You can draw the diagram with and without the case study you can draw. Okay, but this is complex. Strategic issues. Strategic analysis and issues. Now, look at the topic. Experts view. Take down the name of the two experts. In the exercise segment, classroom exercise, I'll ask you to recollect William Gluck and Kenichi Ohme. Where in case of William Gluck, he has even listed out who are those external factors. He says strategists have to monitor economic, government, legal, market, competitive, supplier, technological, geographical, social settings. He has listed out. The list is given. And you understand that he is concentrating on external environment. Did you notice that? In SWOT, we all know that SW stands for internal And OT stands for external. Look at him. Supposing there's a twisted question in this segment. Please come. Yes. Now, yeah, I will be sharing what no, some 50 important questions across chapters. Chapter-wise questions. Okay. And this capsule. I'll show you the chapter-wise also. PPTs, if you want, I'm ready to share. Because all these are resources meant for you. See, this is 150 across chapters which I collected from various sources. Okay. The other one is also there, which is, I'll show you that which we can share. I think it's this. See, I took some papers and accordingly I collected repeated and complex. I told you, I will show you all those challenging questions and those have been taken and collected and given. Okay, that is also one set. Okay, these are the things. Which one, ma? I can share. And but here what I did, I didn't stop to MCQs or not. I typed even the descriptive ones. It is like that. What I did was descriptive. Some people may not know and I didn't leave like that. I thought I will fill it up with an answer. This 150 questions is only MCQs. This is a capsule for reference and then you should test yourself with the questions. PPT is one. If you don't have Bharadwaj material, PPT is like that. Because in the class we took no. And we said this is how you study. So all forms are given to you. Okay. Now please look at this point. I was discussing you about this William Gluck. So look at that clue because I saw this in that MCQ. Gluck discusses about the challenges of external environment, internal environment, both external and internal. So this is Gluck's articulation is on environmental analysis in general. The answer is external. OT. Are you clear? Okay. Now come to Kenichi Ohime. The analysis is the critical starting point of strategic thinking. The analysis is environmental analysis. They will ask you to fill it up. The analysis is what? Environmental analysis is the starting point of strategic thinking. Now I'll tell you one statement, you answer me. Strategy is a consequence of planning. True or false? Very good. Because planning is a consequence of strategy. First I frame strategy followed by planning. Very good. Immediately she replied. That's how you should be in fingertips for MCQs. Now look at this various criterias, okay, upon which organizations are distinguished. Size, type of products, markets, geographical coverage, legal status, etc. Whether public limited or private limited. Now this is one important diagram. Layers. As I told you, what is an atmosphere is an ambience. So for a business firm, look at the layers. I am an organization, my internal environment is this. Stakeholders, industry, domestic, national, international. So this is, red is your international. Green is your national. Violet is your industry. And blue is your firm's key stakeholders, my customers, my employees, okay, my suppliers, my dealers, okay, key stakeholders. Internal environment is your management, which has to look into this layers in the business atmosphere. All the four, if they give you 4 layers, option 1, 2, 3, say all of the above. If they club these two and give 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the above is your layer. International, look at this. Because in your book, they have added internationalization of business. In your SM material itself, it is there. For nationalism, they have even given the example of Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-sufficient India. Okay, all the 4, international, national, industry, your own key stakeholders. That's why in the capsule I have given this. So what do you understand by essay? What is this essay? compiling information about internal and external environment. That's all. I'm giving a clue word no, for everything. Strategic intent means purpose. Values means ethics, morality, foundation. Mission is current. Vision is futuristic. Goals are broader. Objectives, how to achieve the goals. Isn't it? So here, compiling the information. Very important. Okay. And some clarification for MCQs. In a very detailed manner we did in our class. Okay. So, screen the external environment, internal resources and capabilities. All. For essay, you have to do both internal and external. Collect the information. And formal and informal. Formal and informal. Both are needed. Even informal information is needed. Please remember that. Okay. So, an environmental scanning, for that to understand it, use formal is always authentic. But here we are also learning even informal information is useful to me. Don't spare any information. That is the idea. So what is essay? Essay is to compile information about internal and external. Now don't say only external, internal and external. And for environmental scanning, we are not reliant upon only formal or authentic source. Informal is also helpful. Are you understanding, my dear students? So, and here, essay chart. Please look at the essay chart. So, this is internal analysis. Okay, you remember this chart in the, what you do is in the essay chart, see, we have told, no, all this. You will understand that identifying the opportunities, threats, strengths and weaknesses. That's one of the ways how you do. I can also show you that. 1 minute, I will freeze and show you that chart. We are in chapter 2, right? Are we in chapter 2? Now, when you look at the chapter 2, my dear students, is one of the biggest chapter. Essay issues is big. Look at the components. How many segments are there? 7. Introductory note, essay analysis. This is what we are doing. Strategic and business environment. All this. Micro, macro, puzzle, international environment. Then you are understanding product and industry, where you are learning PLC concept. What is PLC? Expand PLC. Very good, excellent. Product life cycle. Value chain analysis as given by Michael Porter. You are going to see that framework. Now mark this chapter 2 as important for examination. You can even start with chapter 2 and then do chapter 1. Important from the exam point of view. Because most of the questions are from. And industry environment, see product, industry, market, customer, competitive strategy. All are there in this segment. So as we are doing this segment, that's what no features of the product, all this we saw. Let's show you all this. And let's go to our segment. What I wanted to tell you is this. There is that essay issues. I wanted to talk to you about essay issues. Okay. So we will use this essay chart, my dear students. Here, evaluation of current vision mission strategies, for which as you evaluate, use external factors, use internal factors. That will lead you to identifying opportunities and threats externally, strengths and weaknesses. Based on this, you can go further. So essay implies compiling of information about the internal and external environment, and you can use formal sources and also informal sources. When I evaluate my current vision, mission, strategies, I am going to use this my external and internal analysis, and based on that I'm going to identify new threats and opportunities, strengths and weaknesses. Okay, chart is important. Now, what are the major limitations of essay analysis? It will be confusing and overlapping. See, I'm going in a particular path. I do an evaluation. New changes every day, day-to-day changes are there. So should I stick on to my path, or I have invested in the business, what would I do? It's a confusing process. The other one is time consuming. So that is also there. So therefore, we have to consider all these factors, and we have to ensure that a strategy is evolved over a period of time, and there is a balance of external and internal factors. Okay, are you clear, my dear students? So you consider the opportunities, influence and constraints. Now risk. Why we are studying risk? Because there is a chart for risk. You know that risk matrix, look at it. Mark it as important. See, essay analysis, you have a bigger chart also. External, see, you can use this bigger chart or what you call as a master chart, or you can use a smaller chart which is given here. Which did you prepare for the examination? What are you going to do? Are you going to use a smaller one or the bigger one? What is your idea? What did you, when you study, what did you feel you have to do? Smaller. This is very big, you thought, is it? Now I will tell you one tip. If you study this chart, what happens is, you can write only the side headings there. You know the answer also here. There you have to write. Here the answer is there, what comes under customer analysis, competitive analysis, market analysis, environmental analysis. So this will fetch you more marks because you call it as a master chart. And in that, if you remember just one criteria under each, good. It is leading to opportunities, threats, it is leading to assessment of strength and weakness. Are you clear, my dear students? Now, risk, strategic risk matrix. Look at your parent source or whichever source it's given, and you understand that there is a time which is given in the horizontal axis, and on the vertical axis you write it as strategic risks. This is the, see, short time, when you take a risk, what happens? The same thing when it is long time, what happens? That's what is given. See, short time. Errors in interpreting the environment causes strategic failure. If I make a mistake in interpreting or understanding the environment correctly, strategic failure. But what happens that in long time, obsolescence of your strategy itself is not required, redundant, stale, no meaning. Here at least it is only a failure, you can correct it. So if you don't assess your risk properly, the short-term threats are there, but long-term impacts are detrimental. You can no more rise. So long-term impacts are greater. Short-time itself, it will tell you, the failure will tell you that somewhere you are wrong in understanding the environment. Take this as a signal. First of all, don't make this mistake, or at least take this as a signal not to continue this mistake in the long, because where is it landing you? Obsolescence of strategy. Now the question will be in MCQ, if there is an error in the environment, in the short term there will be a strategic failure or obsolescence of strategy. Both, none of the given. Answer is strategic failure. Now go to the other one. Operational capacity is unable to compete or cope up with strategic demands. Okay, that is it. In the long run, see, operational capacity is unable to cope with strategic demands, is a threat. But look at the long, means what? There's an inconsistency here. Inconsistencies with strategy are developed on account of inconsistencies with the strategy are developed on account of changes in the capacities and preferences. What do you see? My resources are not consistent with the strategy formulated. It's something serious impact. The consequence is serious. Are you able to understand this? See, so organizational capacity is not able to meet with strategic demands. What would you do now? Now I have to expand my organizational capacity. Is it the right answer or no? Okay, my strategic demands are such, it is not able to meet. First of all, you should have assessed your organizational capacity, strengthened it according to the demand. You didn't do that. That's a failure. But I have to take the signal, because what will happen? Inconsistencies with the strategy. No, strategy is somewhere and the requirements are somewhere, resources are somewhere. So short-term impacts are there, but long-term impacts are detrimental. Short-term impacts are evident, are visible. So take it as a signal, is what I'm saying. Because if you miss the signal, long-term impacts are detrimental, adverse, detrimental to the growth of the organization. Do you understand, my dear students? Are you able to follow this matrix? Is it clear? So please understand that business is endowed with risk. And in our example, we have given the case study of, if I remember correctly, biscuit example. I think Parle-J's example was given to you clearly. Some of you may remember this. I will try to have given you this case study. Okay, we will do it a little later also. Parle-J's success. In another example also, I have given that. Not to worry. Okay. Now we have to go into the factors influencing the character of the industry, my dear students. I have listed out. Study it as it is. It is purely theoretical. What is the nature of the industry? The technological change in the industry, the market growth rate in the industry, the geographic boundaries of it, all this which is pertaining to the industry as a whole. Can you tell me the difference between, or what is a firm, industry and sector? Firm, industry and sector. Tell me. A firm is a single organization. Very good. Specific organization. A company, an entity, an enterprise. Very good. Industry is? Excellent. Industry is a composition of many firms. In that, if it is a cement industry, the firms will be producing, selling, manufacturing cement. Right. Sector.
Business in which these individuals are engaged in.
Yes. In other words, you can say that collection of industries. Each industry having their own business. Are you clear? So in that way, this part is important. So this is a general part, but we have to go to the part of, I think after break I will do this. Okay, classification. This is what we are going to begin with. Okay, in the chapter 2. So the first part of the segment will be totally, I can say that it is going to be some kind of a general one, and part 2 is where you have this PLC concept, value chain analysis. The first part is about understanding what is business in. Okay. Yes, my dear students, it's 9 o'clock. I give you a break now. And when are you expected to be back? Can tell me the time, ma'am. This is the time we need for our breakfast. Can you tell me that? So that I will give you that time. Half an hour. So around 9:30 plus or minus. Okay, online students, we will get back at 9:30. Is that fine for you? Let's hope it's fine for them. We will come back and we will continue. Okay. So are you recollecting something today? You are feeling you're in touch with the subject today, revising something, etc. Now this whole of this revision material, when it comes to you, make use of it in a proper way. Okay. PPT is for people who don't have Bharadwaj material. MCQ is alone a set of 50 questions, very important. Chapter wise questions from previous papers, etc. For what purpose? Theory and MCQs. Okay. And in classroom exercise, just to make sure that are you able to work out a case study will make it. Basically about that. Case study even in MCQs. Clear? Okay? Yes.